Good evening, and I want to welcome everybody to the newest edition of the Violent Wrestling Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Adam Rice, and the fumbling you hear in the background is our other co-host, one of the co-founders of this lovely podcast, Prince Moxley Lopez. Mox, how are you doing tonight?
Fumbling? I didn't hear any fumbling. I thought I did a smooth transition. At least I didn't say co-ed. Like, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind every other waking moment of the day?
What's up, everyone? As you can tell, this is different. Ambrose Alley, my co-founder with the Violent Wrestling Podcast, still is on her night job that she is wanting desperately out of so she can be along. So this makes 2 weeks in a row that we will be without her, and she will be. We'll figure something out. We're gonna have to anyway. And Metal Matt will be along shortly. He will be home and hopefully ready to pod here in just a few minutes. But AA, being on Mountain Time, doesn't get off until late. And so with her blessing, it's just going to be me and Rice chatting for a little bit until Matt gets here. And then all the fun starts. How's your week, Rice?
Week so far so good. Had a doctor's appointment yesterday with my family doctor, and another doctor's appointment up with a dietitian. Just trying to keep my health in check. Everything's still reading fairly well, but as always, can do better. So thankfully, I'm not dead yet, so that's a plus. Um,
Well, depends on who you talk to.
well, dead on the inside, absolutely. Um,
And
Mox,
if I didn't clarify this, it's not on our end. YouTube is doing away with Hangouts on Air tomorrow at midnight, which would be August 1st. And we tell you every week, we have Twitch, Violent Wrestling Podcast, No G, and Wrestling. So we won't be live. Hopefully, we'll get an episode in tomorrow before they completely take us away. But we'll be on Twitch starting next week for sure. And then I'll try to figure out a way to upload the podcast to YouTube sometime down the road. But this might be our last podcast. Hopefully, we can get together tomorrow, even for a short one.
hmm that is the plan. Now, Mox, normally we start off the show with important news, and I can't think of any more important news than the news that dropped just this week. Well, actually, just this past week, I should
Yeah,
say.
this past weekend, and I don't know if I've ever been able to do this with you. I always get to do it with Matt. Rice, you have the floor.
As a surprise, we had no indication it was coming. Well, I shouldn't say that as an absolute. Our own Prince Moxley Lopez did drop a note in our mutual hangout spot, Cage Side Seats, that she would be returning soon, but little did he know it would be within hours of him making the comment.
Um,
Ladies and gentlemen, back from almost a whole year of being on the shelf after her devastating injury at last year's Mae Young Classic. The shiniest wizard, the woman from Wales, ladies and gentlemen, Tegan Knox is back. She has made
Yay!
her in-ring return at an NXT Orlando house show, um, where she teamed with Jessica. Camilla, the former Jesse Alabon, and but the big news here is that Tegan's back. She's in two knee braces. She looks great, which is always, as y'all can tell, my avatar picture here is a picture of Tegan Knox because I was anticipating her return here shortly, and I wanted to be prepared for that. She's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now. Um,
Mine too.
uh,
Uh,
hopefully,
how that conversation went that
go
you
ahead.
brought up was somebody with her surgery and stuff. You might not see her for a while, and she no, actually, she's going to be back sooner than you think. But like you said, I didn't realize it would be like hour and a half, 2 hours after I said that. I mean, my sources are good, but damn, my sources aren't that good. Like she's gonna be back sooner than you think, actually. Like, damn. Next thing I know, I get on the internet. Tegan Knox shows up at NXT house show. Yeah, dust off the
Um,
shoulders. Mox is good. Mox is good.
we'll be having a conversation about your sources later. Um, Look, this is great. As you all know,
Yes,
at the end of some of you may be aware, at the end of this upcoming month, Takeover U, UK NXT UK is having their second ever Takeover event in
and
Cardiff, Wales.
yeah,
I don't know what the plan is for Tegan. I absolutely assume she will be there if that's not her official quote unquote on screen return. And these house shows are to knock some ring rust off. Um,
yeah. That's the problem with this day and age. This used to happen all the time, and nobody really knew it until they came back, like say at the NXT UK Cardiff show, and then everybody pops. But in today's social media world, if Tegan Knox returns at a house show, the whole world's going to know that Tegan Knox returned at a house show.
right. And it's not, of course, it's not ideal to have a big return spoiled at a house show. But then, like you said, it is what it's the cost of doing business.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. With the and this isn't her first time. With her kind of
no,
injury, you don't. It's best to do, and they faced of all people, Aaliyah and Jessica Bourne.
which
Uh,
all I'm going to say about that is perfect tag team for her to get in the ring with.
yeah,
Um,
and putting her with somebody like you say, just for the ring rust and just to um,
get your
get back.
timing back,
Yeah,
get your
it,
cardio back,
and
work them,
she's wearing the Steve Austin double knee brace thing,
mhm.
which I think
And
just looks
ironically,
badass. I
it
love that
does.
look.
And also, did people reported? I know you didn't physically see it. She's using a stunner variant
Yes,
as her finisher to take pressure and weight off the knees.
yes.
Um, I don't think we'll be seeing her do 450 splashes anymore. Um,
That's okay as
just
long as she's healthy and in the ring.
healthy. And I think that, I was going to say, work some ring rust off, get your timing back, get your cardio back, get your wind back. And not to say she looked unhealthy or out of shape, but whenever you get back in the ring, you're going to lose a little bit of weight. And
Yeah, you.
she looked like she had a little bit of extra weight on her, but that's to be expected. Um,
But yeah, we talked about this when she came back. Not in a bad way. I want to before I put out at PW Fan 01 on Twitter for all the hate mail. Um, you can tell like she was out with an injury
mm-hmm.
where there's going to be a time in there of like you literally can't do shit. B
Yep.
the injury she had where she's rehabbing her lower body. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some weight there, but it's more muscular. Like
Yeah.
from her waist down, like from the pictures and some little videos I've seen, like her thighs are a little. more muscular. Yeah, once she gets back on the road and working and training,
Mm.
that she's gonna lose some weight. Me personally, like I love this new look. Like, don't lose the weight. 'Cause I'll just be honest. I like them.
Yeah, I'm not going to say she looks bad, y'all. It's not bad weight. It's really not. She looks. I have. All I'm going to say is I like the way she looks. I have some personal preferences when it comes to the look of women I'm attracted to, and there's no doubt Tegan Knox is attractive, and I'm going to leave it at that. Um, so I'm happy she's back. We've been
Yes,
waiting for this, and hopefully this means in the next upcoming months, unless Mox, your sources know something, and you might know where I'm going with this. Um, her tag team partner might be on her way back, hopefully. Uh,
yeah. You're referring to the one, the only Miss Dakota Kai.
yeah. Um, I hope she's on her way back too. I know their injuries happen so close to each other that we may be getting them back relatively within the same time frame.
And
Um,
there's countdowns going.
hmm
Tegan was doing it, and Kai was doing it as well on their social media. And bringing up like pops and surprises. Okay, Tegan would have probably gotten the bigger pop, but if say like Tegan's still going to get a pop at Cardiff. Something happens and Tegan's getting beat down. If Dakota Kai shows up to save Tegan and they stand tall at the end, works just as well for me.
yeah, have Dakota come back at Cardiff too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
reunite
I
Team
do know
Kick.
later. Yeah, I do know later this year, and correct me if I'm wrong on the WWE calendar, there is some talk that they'll be running some live events down in Dakota's area of the world, New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah,
Um, later this
uh,
year, I don't know what her time frame is, and if that matches up, that's also a possibility.
I want to October is sometime in the fall. They're doing
Which lines up with her
the
return.
southern.
If she, yeah, the Southern Hemisphere kind of thing.
Yeah,
I forget
well,
what they called
there's
it. They built it to something.
the down under tour or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I could. Yeah, I'm also anticipating Dakota Kai coming back. Unfortunately, my sources are still kind of vague on that. Um, but they're
Um,
not as accurate as they were with Tegan yet. The closer we get, the better my sources will get.
but
Um,
like I said, we could. I mean, I could gush about having Tegan back forever because like she's my avatar, people. And maybe here in the next couple of weeks, in anticipation of Dakota's return, I might change it again.
no,
But
don't still. I was gonna change
but
mine to Dakota. You can be
okay,
Tegan.
that's
I'll
fine.
be Dakota.
That's fine. But just happy to have her back,
Yes,
and let's hope stay healthy. That
stay
girl's had
healthy.
rotten luck since signing with WWE. She was relatively healthy in all her times in the Indies, and coming back, and then pretty much right as soon as she shines and gets hurt, comes back, has to do rehab, comes back for the second Mae Young, gets hurt again, and it's just been rotten luck the whole way through for Tegan. So hopefully, this is the beginning of a long, successful career for her, injury free. She's only 24,
Yeah,
25, so many years ahead of her. And hopefully, this is the beginning of a new and improved adventure with her bionic knees. So with that said, Mox, um, Is there any news that you wanted to touch on before we get into some of the actual wrestling that occurred while we were away?
Uh, Dude, my schedule is so bizarre with everything going on, and I can't think off the top of my head. There's
Let's say
news, but I
that
think there's going to be some stuff that we'll touch on later.
yes. I do want to say WWE did have their quarterly review,
Oh, there was that. Yep,
and
second
I
quarter.
am not. Yeah, second quarter conference call and everything. Um, hold on. Anything from that conference call that you wanted to mention?
The biggest part, and I'm not gonna. I say the biggest part. Um, of course, in the second quarter was WrestleMania and the Saudi show. So of course numbers were up. Um, the stock rose based on the numbers. Without spoiling anything while we wait on Matt, with one of the biggest. I keep using the word biggest like it's big news, but it's become a meme in the last 24 hours. Is Vince on the conference call talking about AEW and saying how, you know, blood and guts. And then we saw kind of literally blood and guts on Raw last night. And
Yeah, which led to more mockery.
that's, yeah, mockery, not biggest news, but one of the biggest mockeries that came out of the conference call just happened like in the last 24 hours.
Yeah,
Um,
and you know and I can't remember a time Vince ever officially did Vince ever. And look, I was a kid. We were both kids. I was younger than you, obviously, but
I was
I
never a
don't.
kid, sir.
That's true.
I was born old,
Came out walking with a pack of cigs.
strutting my shit.
I can't never remember Vince officially in an official setting like that mentioning WCW. So to hear Vince or even TNA, although I know he did infrequently, so to hear Vince in the first opportunity he could in an official executive setting like that mention AEW was
well,
weird.
they weren't a publicly traded company by the time WCW went out of business. Um,
That's
so
true.
so we didn't really have these quarterly conference calls that we do now. Also, he did, he would bring up Ted Turner more
Yes,
than WCW itself, but he would bring it up, just not in this environment because that environment didn't exist because, like I say, they weren't PTC. Um, but that was really the only time he would do it was with a WCW, and that was more taking shots at Ted Turner than
hmm
WCW. Um, and Ted
yeah,
Turner, and everybody knows the quote of, the wrestling. Hey,
but that was
Vince, I'm in the
also
wrestling business.
well. That's nice,
Well, good.
Ted, but I'm in the
Yeah.
entertainment business. It's but that was also a personal phone call.
Yes. Yes.
This was an official setting.
Yes.
But some of the other stuff that came out of that, they are. It definitely sounds like that we will be getting a tiered, revamped WWE network, which I know some people have had some problems with the
Yeah.
new.
They've already revamped the network, and I've seen a lot of complaints about people having problems with. They haven't tiered it yet, but they've revamped the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think all of a sudden.
The
Um,
AI, the UI, the user
yeah,
interface.
yeah, they revamped that, and some people were having trouble with it, especially um, shit. I'm wow. Um, the fucking fuck. Um, sorry,
Did
dogs
you?
inside are barking, and now the fuck. I don't want to say blind, but what's the
They've. It sounds like they've had some implementation issues because it wasn't a set. Um,
heart of sight community, or
yeah,
basically people that use the interface before, that were either completely blind or legally blind. The old user interface would allowed them to navigate through, and the new interface won't allow them to navigate through. I don't know like the details on that. I've seen it on all social media platforms I'm on, that the site challenged folks are having a, like, people are canceling their subscriptions because they can't use the new interface. And that's just one segment, because other people are having other troubles. But I have seen that come up quite frequently, of the site. I'm gonna quit talking now because it's right there, and I'm just so out of it. Um, that's a problem.
yeah.
There's
So I just, while we were talking, I just logged onto the site and definitely looks cleaner. I'll get a
Are
chance to
you
actually
telling me
use
you
this,
didn't watch Smackville?
sir. I no, I did not. Uh, which we'll talk about because I think that's going to be one of the features of the new network, and something I think they've been wanting to do. They have to. Here's the dirty little secret, everybody, and it's not really a secret. House show business is in the shits. It's the drizzle and shits. Uh, Personally, I enjoy house shows over live events,
Well,
over taped,
they're
televised events.
yeah. I was about to say
Um, there's more
what.
personal. They're more personable. They're more interactive, and you have a little bit more fun. My first time
There's
ever
one
seeing.
intermission, maybe two intermissions. There's
Yep.
no lagging with commercial this, commercial that. It's a very there's some talking, but less talking, more wrestling, more action, more, well, everything you just described. More crowd friendly, kid friendly, um, viewer friendly, to sit there for a couple 3 hours, and it's more friendly than going to a Raw or SmackDown taping. Well, SmackDown tapings um, aren't quite that bad anymore, because you have SmackDown, then 205 Live, then the dark match, but it's still a lot of
Mhm.
commercials and stuff.
Right.
But,
Um,
but I haven't been to a Raw taping since they went to 3 hours. Yeah, I have.
I've
I
I've been
just
to a
don't
Raw
know.
taping. I've been out of taping. I've been to a Raw house show. It's where I first got to see the Squad live in action.
Yes, I
Riot
remember
Squad.
that day. Yeah,
God, that was a great day.
the best
Got to see
squad.
Bailey. Best Squad, yes. Got to see Bailey. I actually got Bailey high five me, and I will never forget it because I thought it was really cool. Um, I saw the Raw crew. Got to see Ronda, and from all my opinions about Ronda, that was still cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Morse has been to my son, by the way. I'm sure any of our viewers know who he is. Has been to both SmackDown. He's never been to a live taping. Excuse me, like a Raw Live or SmackDown Live, but he's been to both SmackDown and Raw house shows, and
mhm.
it's so much fun.
Yep.
I don't know if
And
I could keep him entertained for a Raw taping. I don't know if I
mhm,
could.
it'd be hard. But what? Well, I was going to say, but the house show business is that it's down, and I think they need to find a way to monetize, but for lack of a better term, the house show business.
Yeah,
But I think if they were to periodically advertise in advance and put some, that they're going to do network specials at certain house shows, I think that might get business up. That the
right.
idea that you might be at a network special could do a little extra for business. We saw
R-
what the extra promotion was for, it was like for the Shield to Last Stand,
That's what I was going to bring that one up, and it worked because I don't think it was a
and more
sellout, but there was.
importantly,
Go ahead.
the last show the Riot Squad were on.
Yes, that was their. We outside just between the two of us, we refer to it as the Riot Squad's last stand. Um, but yeah, you're. I don't think you're gonna get more subscribers with the network special. How you're gonna make your money is two ways. Like you brought up the um, the crowd. Oh, it's gonna be a network special. You might sell some more tickets and make some money that way. And B, if when they tier the network and put the house show supposedly like on the second tier where you pay like $2 extra or whatever a month for to get the house show, the Friday specials or whatever, they'll make money that way. They're not gonna. I doubt people. There might be some, but I doubt people are gonna come in droves to the network um, because hey, you can see a once a month or twice, however many, every Friday. Well, not Friday because SmackDown's moving to Fridays, but however often you can see these house shows, these network specials, quote unquote. They're not going to make money that way, but they'll make it two other ways: selling more tickets for that show
Hmm.
and charging more for the second tier. Speaking while we're talking about tiers, apparently there's some locked items on the network.
I
Um,
don't. There has
that
been nothing finalized about the paid tiers
right, and
yet,
this is all speculation.
but
But
there
there
is some
is,
talk. There will be some stuff will be locked depending on what tier you're in.
well, there's screenshots, screen grabs of things being locked. ICW um, archives, footage, whatever is locked. And there was another thing that was locked. Um, Apparently, it's not on everybody's, but there's screen grabs of. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and it's not like Photoshop or anything, where they're in this certain section, but they're locked, and
Hmm.
that just leads me to believe that the tier thing is true, and they're locked, waiting to release the tier thing, and
What? And here's the other thing, and what I think. I don't. It's not too early to speculate. Well, it probably is. I shouldn't say that. But from all of the smoke we both have been hearing,
and
I
and
feel,
smelling.
and other things, and inhaling. uh, I would not be surprised with sometime within here in the next 6 months, probably shorter than that, we'll get the final confirmation that indeed Evolve will be coming to the network and replacing NXT, as NXT does eventually make its way to FS1.
That one I'm not sure about.
There's there's a too much smoke around the potential FS1 NXT deal for me to think that's not going to happen. That part. And so you're going to need something to
Yeah,
replace NXT.
but are you? This is a
You,
this we could get into a long conversation about this
we could,
because
and
do you
we
put
do need
NXT
right.
live on FS1 or do you put it live on the network, or even not live on the network? Do you play it first on the network, then a replay on FS1? It's um,
I if remember the thing, the way the whole taping thing is going to be the crux of the conversation when it comes to NXT.
yes, because I'm sorry, folks,
Um,
NXT's not making it on its own as a touring brand. It's just not going to happen.
I think it could, but you have to be smart about the venues you tour in.
Right. I'm like the venues they've been going, like the takeover venues are usually bigger venues because it's big for weekend stuff like that. If you start doing um, 1,500, 2,000 seat shows, venues, um,
Not happening
well,
on a weekly NXT.
yeah, and so if you're gonna do live NXT, just from a logistical standpoint, from their side of it, not even WWE side of it, Full Sail can't do that. So you're going to have to get out of Full Sail.
Does Let me ask you a question, Max. Is it possible that WWE uses NXT like the old studio shows?
Ah,
Brings back the 1 hour studio show like we used to see from WWF, from
I could,
Crockett, from the old school guys. It's like center stage and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It would take a lot of forethought from Paul and others
In
to make,
Vince.
yeah, to make that happen and to keep us um, quote unquote invested in NXT. It's not out of the
Mm.
realm. It's almost out of the realm, but it's not quite out of the realm of possibilities, in my opinion. Yeah, but that's
Okay.
we could
And
have.
just as a.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to wrap up, but go ahead.
No, I was going. I could talk about foreshadowing and speculation, especially when it comes to this stuff,
I
like
was
all day.
actually going
But
to. Right, yeah, but I was actually going to move us over to NJPW in the
yeah,
G1.
that's what I was hoping you
But
would
I
do.
wanted to quickly, but as a segue, I wanted to mention that today, Jushin Thunder Liger, the legend, was at the Tokyo Stock Exchange
Yes,
as the
it was
official
yesterday actually.
yesterday, as he rung the opening bell as a signal because Bushi Road, the parent company of New Japan Pro Wrestling, has officially gone public on the stock exchange, which
Yes,
means we will now have information for about New Japan financially that we have been getting and the likes that we have been getting from WWE, um, like we had just recently. So
right.
that's going to be interesting because now that means the number one and number two professional wrestling companies in the world are publicly traded companies and are subjected to the rules that comes with that as such.
Right. Um, and you have to throw in Ring of Honor with Sinclair in there.
In Sinclair, correct.
But the New Japan, their financial has always been broad stroked. What they make
Hmm.
for Bushi Road and what Bushi Road wants to tell us they make for them. Now we're not going to get, um, just like with WWE, we don't get a lot of detail, but we'll get more company wide detail, not individual wrestler detail. We'll get like what are they making Bushi Road? What's it costing Bushi Road? That kind of stuff. Just like with WWE, where
But you know
we'll
what?
know company stuff. Just we don't know exactly what so and so's making and what so and so's making. All that stuff is
we
speculative.
we may not, but I think we will see more information than we've seen in the past
Oh,
because
absolutely.
of the public nature of the company.
Absolutely.
But that actually lets us segue into the G1. And I
G1.
and Mox, from everything I've heard, this most recent night of the G1 was probably the best night of this tournament overall.
Meh. And you know why I say that?
You have
Because
your reasons.
I, I'm, damn it, I'm gonna have to admit it, I guess. And what better way? Because I even talked to Brute through messaging earlier about it, and then I played it off. Meh, it's alright. But I'll admit it live on air. Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. fucking killed it.
Best match of the tournament.
Not in my personal opinion, but I wouldn't argue anybody that thought that. For those that are new to VWP, I can't stand Will Ospreay, and Zack Sabre Jr. just doesn't really do much for me.
Although his his rant after he lost, what was it 2 nights ago?
Uh,
Was
yeah,
2 or 3 nights ago?
yeah.
His rant was spectacular.
It's and yeah, I'll give him that. We're talking about Zach here, right? Shit.
Yeah. Um, just him just going, that's fine, it's fine. He's undoing his tape, and then all of a sudden he picks up his chair and goes, fuck Boris Johnson!
Yes.
Fuck Boris! He's the fucking prime minister. It was great. I'm the British heavyweight champion. I have to worry about these things.
The
Oh,
backstage promos have been fantastic. Mox with Shota Amuno, Shooter, those
yeah.
him that was fantastic. Um,
And speaking of Mox and shooting, we also learned within the last week he's going to be taking on Josh Barnett at Bloodsport,
yes.
and that's going to be fan fucking tastic. I don't care what y'all think. That's going to be great.
Simmer down, simmer down.
But this most recent night of the G1 pretty much was the first night of what you can call official eliminations. As in Block A, Badlock Fale, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, Will Ospreay, and Lance Archer, as well as Evil, are all pretty much eliminated.
Yeah, which I had those as my eliminations like a week ago. Like after the fourth matches for each, like all the 1 and 3s and a couple of the 2 and 2s, y'all are out. Like y'all are done.
And in Block B, pretty much everyone in Block B, not named John Moxley, Tomohiro Ishii, and Juice Robinson, are eliminated. So, Mox, that leaves us.
Naito. Oh. Ah.
The thing
Naito,
with
Naito,
Naito is
Naito.
he's at 4 points,
I know.
and he has Cobb, Robinson, Takagi, and Jay White all left. I'll
Eh,
accept he'll win most of. He'll win if we have been on this same wavelength since night one of the G1 in Dallas, that they are suddenly setting up for Robinson Naito for the IC title.
yes. Yeah.
If that's true, Robinson has to beat Naito. And if Robinson beats Naito, Naito's eliminated, regardless of what the other happens with the other matches.
And that sets it up perfectly for either destruction or maybe even Wrestle Kingdom. You eliminated me, I'm coming after you,
And
kind
the
of thing.
idea that and the idea that that takes the belt off Naito if he is indeed the chosen opponent for Kazuchika Okada.
And Moxley's not winning the G1, and
Right.
Moxley's dropping his belt, the U.S. belt, probably at Destruction, which is September 15th, 2 weeks before AEW makes their TNT premiere.
Do you is Moxley going to go undefeated, or is one of Goto, Robinson, White, or Yano going to beat him?
Unfortunately, and I hate saying this, fuck Nickel, I think Robinson
So
might
Robinson
beat
beats
him
Moxley and Naito.
for whatever reason, dude. New Japan and Juice with his
Here's
new
my thing.
attitude, and I don't like it, and I'm not really expecting it. Just
Well,
I don't see him beating Yano. I see that being out of the four, probably the for me anyway, personally, the best match. Um, Jay
if I
White
had to
can fuck right off.
see, here's the way I'm thinking about it. When it comes to Moxley and that United States Championship, of the two of those last four, the two who I'd want to see him wrestle for it are indeed Robinson and Haruki Goto.
You can't keep putting the U.S. belt on Juice Robinson though.
Exactly.
I mean, you
Which
can't
and
just.
I could,
That's why I think Juice moves up to the IC and we get somebody else.
which is
Uh,
why I think it, which is, and I don't want to say it. I really don't want to say it.
I'm
But
say
I think Jay White beats Moxley in the G1 tournament. Sets up Jay White Moxley for the U.S. title either at the next major show. White beats Moxley for the belt and then lets Moxley go off to AEW.
yeah,
Um, I guess they could theoretically do Goto, but they've never valued Goto that highly, despite him being actually a pretty decent wrestler.
yeah. They've
And
you can say that for several New Japan people that I love that they get their money's worth, but they don't really push them. They
yeah,
push them, but not push them, if that makes sense.
yeah. Um,
So now that we're 2 weeks in and only have a little bit of time left, four matches for one block, five for another. Who do you have in the finals?
I'm looking at it, and this is how I'm looking at it. Of the final people, and I'm going to start with Block B. Robinson hasn't wrestled Moxley, but Ishii has. And so, in
Yes.
order for Ishii to get to the final, Moxley has to lose twice. Moxley isn't losing twice.
Speaking of people that they need to just push the moon, Ishii.
I
Uh,
love Ishii.
yeah,
Um,
you know my love for him.
um, so I don't think Ishii is really in contention in
Yeah,
Block B,
yeah,
which means Robinson by default is. And
right.
depending on how on what they do, here's how I think about it. Let me walk through this with me here, Max.
Okay.
Robinson White, who do you got?
Ooh, I don't like either one of them, but based on Gato's booking, Robinson.
Robinson versus Taichi.
Robinson,
Robinson Naito.
Naito.
Robinson Moxley.
We brought this up. Oh shit. We brought this up in a personal phone call between us. Uh, fuck. Well, if Robinson goes over the first three and the final match before, that would mean that Robinson wins, he goes on to the finals. Moxley wins, he goes on to the finals. Um, and that prevents Moxley losing too much. Like he would just lose one match. Ah, fuck, that's a hard one. Because are they really going to have Moxley go to the finals and lose to, say, Okada? I think the best thing you could do is get Moxley close to the finals, but not. Because if Moxley goes in the finals undefeated, then what? I just don't know, dude. Fucking Guido and his. That's
Ghetto,
why
yeah, Ghetto's weird.
I call him Guido. I know it's ghetto, but I call
I
him
know,
Guido. Geek, geek, do.
because you're weird.
Yeah, I have nicknames for everybody, but that's why I love the G1 so much. That's why my ass is up every night watching the G1.
Because it's for a form of entertainment that loves to talk about unpredictability. The G1, I know a lot of people think is predictable, but it's they have years like this where you get down to it and you just don't know,
Right.
which makes it great.
Like I honestly have no idea. I guess we are down to Robinson or Moxley coming out of B block, and I couldn't tell you because they've made Moxley look strong. They've made Juice look somewhat strong, but also vulnerable here and there. But that match will decide who wins B block. And I hate saying that because I'm a Naito mark, but that just throws Ishii under the bus. Like,
Right,
yeah,
because Ishii can't get he's already lost to Moxley, and Ishii has matches with Goto, Taichi, Takagi, and Yano. And the only one of those, I mean, Ishii and Goto is always just a brawl.
yes,
And I am interested in Ishii and Takagi. That could be really fun.
oh yeah. Um,
Um,
Takagi matches go one of two ways. Either they like, okay, that's a thing that happened, or holy shit, that's a thing that I just got to watch.
but
Where Ishii,
to
in my
me, if
opinion,
I'm
is one of and people listening that aren't familiar with New Japan might go, what? He's probably best in the world over the last complete decade. Ishii is just phenomenal. If anything, he's underrated because people just look
if
at him
any
like,
right,
oh, he's a big dude. All he does is no, that he does a lot more than just headbutts and shit like that. Like, dude
he's
is
figured out he's figured out how to make that brawling, strong style entertaining. Because
yes,
he himself, no one ever says this about Ishii, and I wish more people would. He has his own brand of charisma
yes,
where
yes.
you can't take your eyes off him when he's in the ring. Part of that is the way he looks. He's a short, thick dude with no neck, and he's going to punch you in the face,
Or headbutt
but
you.
or headbutt you. But there's an aura and there's an energy to him that a lot of guys of that style don't have.
Yes,
It,
exactly.
I
He's got
liken
more
it.
charisma with just um not even his wrestling style, just his presence that a lot of wrestlers wish they had an ounce of.
Yes, I like. I know they're similar, obviously, but there isn't a lot of
Does it
frills.
start with a B? Does it start with a B?
Oh, who are you thinking?
Who are you gonna? I was thinking BL.
Lesnar.
Yeah.
Lesnar's is more you. Lesnar's is more noticeable.
Well,
Lesnar's is very animalistic. If that's a word you could use. Lesnar's just he's literally a beast,
right. I'm
and
just
some of
saying.
that.
From a lot of Ishii doesn't get like Brock just gets hated on and hated on and hated on, understandably. I'm just referring
Yes.
to that dude walks in a room like he everybody there's your attention. Like holy fuck, look at that dude. And
Um.
not just based on size, just and now we're getting Todd doing finger guns in the background.
Yep.
Anyway, I didn't mean to. Who were you gonna say?
They're obviously similar, and they're obviously peers, but in the same way that Shibata does. Shibata's charisma was understated. It was more in just how he walked out and carried himself. But Ishii and Shibata have a lot of similarities. Um, and it's because of those similarities that why I enjoy Ishii. But whenever I see Ishii, I also think of Shibata. And
Yeah,
Ishii and Shibata had some killer matches.
absolutely.
Um, but if I had to pick between those of what we were just kind of talking about there, I'm flipping Moxley Naito. Although I could see them wanting to get Juice his win back um, against Moxley after losing the belt by having him beat Moxley in the G1. Um, but like I said, I think the plan here is to get Juice rolling towards the Intercontinental title, which means beating Naito in the G1, which is what I
Yeah,
think will happen.
yeah.
But not,
I know I picked differently. But yeah, that makes more sense long term.
and it also gets Juice kind of primed for next year, finishing second in
And
the in your block in a weird year like this, where you have a guy like John Moxley who's all of a sudden popped in, kind
um,
of really elevates Juice.
yeah, and MVP. And speaking of elevating in the G1, MVP, and I don't care what happens to the rest of the G1, MVP as of tonight and all the way to the end of the G1,
Lance
Lance
Archer,
Archer, Lance Hoyt. Good God, y'all.
where
He,
can I ask you a question? Where
yeah,
has this Lance Archer been for the last 10 fucking years?
I have no idea, but it's there now, and I'm enjoying every fucking minute of it.
Because here's a guy who was what, he's what, 6'7"?
Yeah, six
Good
six six seven.
looking, good looking guy. There is charisma there. He looks like a guy you could build a company around. And it's
Uh,
taken him every bit of 15 years to get to this point where he actually looks like a star in ring.
that's I was talking to some friends on Twitter during let's see Friday's show, whenever it was, and the best way, and I brought up Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt being the MVP of the G1, and it's not like I think I worded it something like, if nothing else, the G1's made me a fan of Lance Archer. It's not that I disliked him coming into the G1. It's just that he just was a warm body, like he did nothing for me. But holy fuck, have I become a fan of Lance Archer just during this G1.
If we were getting this Lance Archer when he was teaming with Davy Boy in the
Yeah,
Killer Elite Squad, we wouldn't have been laughing at the Killer Elite Squad as much as we have.
true.
For um, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Lance
some news.
Archer.
Speaking of, David Boy Smith revealed why he left New Japan. He wants to get into MMA. That's some
Yep.
news that broke in the last week. That because
Um,
we're all curious, why he didn't resign and where's he going? Would he go to AEW? He said nope. He wants to try MMA. Like, okay.
yeah. Which I'm a kind of iffy at Davy Boy wanting. He's an older guy now. I understand his desire, but getting into MMA this late is always a crapshoot. I know he's an accomplished catch wrestler, and he's been training with Josh Barnett, and they're very close. Um, but I don't know if I see the logic. Well, I shouldn't say the logic because his reasoning is his own reasoning.
Right.
Um, but I'm skeptical right now. I'm just gonna say I'm skeptical, especially if it's true WWE is sniffing around him again.
Yeah, I heard that rumor. Um,
Um,
I he's not going to be a Brock Lesnar in MMA.
no,
I don't know if he'll be a Punk.
I think he's put more time into it than Punk did. Um, Davy Boy is has put in the work
Yeah,
for a longer period of time than Punk did. So I think that will then give him credit. Also, thing with MMA and big guys like there's a lot of when you're that size, and let's for those who don't really see it when you see him on TV, Davy Boy Smith Jr. is built like his father.
if you weren't going to make that analogy, I was. Like
He is
you want to talk about thick, and it's like muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle. Like,
now he's not as fit, I will say, like his father was, because Davy British Bulldog looked like he was chiseled out of fucking granite,
well,
and there
but
were reasons for that.
yeah, I was without the reasons that Davy Boy Senior had for being that big. I'm assuming Junior's done it naturally for the most part.
Yeah,
So to be that thick, I keep saying thick, but he's a
he's
big
a
boy.
wall. He's a
Yeah,
wall.
he's a yeah.
But and I think some of the depending on where Davey starts, and it's all going to be if this really works for him. Is he going to try to walk into UFC? Is he going to try to walk into Bellator? Is because if he is, he's in for a rude awakening.
Oh yeah. What
Um,
promotion did Swagger go to? What MMA? It wasn't
wasn't
what.
Swagger fighting for Bellator?
Well, I was gonna. I know it wasn't UFC. I think it was the Bellator, and he won
Um,
his.
if
UFC is, I think, completely out of the question. Just realistically, for
he
one, Dana White, David Boy Smith Jr.'s not a big enough wrestling name for Dana White to give a shit about. Like, former wrestler, former WWE superstar. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
if you tried to bill him as the son of the legendary British Bulldog and that kind of thing, maybe, but it still wouldn't be enough. I would, a place I could see at a level that I could see Davey doing is that professional fighter league on ESPN where
Oh
Lillian
yeah,
Garcia does the ring
yeah.
announcing for him. I could see him do that.
Yeah,
where
at least
it's
start off
fighting
there.
to
He, go ahead.
a goal. It isn't like they have like it's like a giant tournament rather than just circular fights. If you get what I'm saying.
Right, I'll get you. Bellator would be his highest point, starting point, but yeah, I would go something um, a little more realistic, a little more get my MMA feet. Am I making sense? Like my actual professional fighting in front of people
Yeah,
feet.
his sea legs, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I just wanted to bring that up while we
right.
were on the subject. Of,
Um, Now we have to turn our attention to A block, and the question is, in all honesty, who's walking out of A block? Is it Kenta? Is it Okada? Because no one else is like. I know Ibushi and Ace are both tied at are tied with Kenta at 8 points, but let's be real. I don't see Ibushi or Ace being in the Block A finals. So, because Ibushi has three matches, here are the final matches. Ibushi has wow. Ibushi has Okada, Saber, and Ace left. And Ace has Fale, Ibushi, and Osprey left.
Poor fucking Naito. His next match is against Fale, and
And
uh,
Kenta has Fale, Osprey, and Saber left.
oh,
So, I have okay. Kenta and Ace are both beating Fale, correct?
oh yeah.
Okay, let's get that out of the way.
So's Naito. They all three face
Naito's in
Naito.
Block B.
Or shit,
Ace.
Ace
Tanahashi.
Tanahashi. Sorry, wife just walked behind, waved, and Tanahashi Ace. They're all three
And
still face him, and they're all three going to beat Folly. So there's two more
yeah.
points for each.
Well, no. Between. Let me do
Did you
this
guys
right.
hear about the new Constipation movie coming out?
We're
When
not
if you
talking
haven't, it
about it.
hasn't come
Shut
out
up.
yet.
Shut up. I will stab you with a goddamned pen.
I need a gun. Like I own guns, but I honestly like need one in my hand right now. What's up, Matthew? Metal
Hey
Matt.
man,
What's
We've
up, boy?
literally talked about we've just been chit chatting.
Bullshitting.
Yeah,
We talked about Tegan's
oh,
return
yeah. I was about to say
and
a lot of taking shit. New Japan.
we're just kind of trying to wrap up G1 talk, really. Even though it's been going on for a little bit. The
How far along are you in the G1, Matt? Metal Matt.
I'm still on night 7.
Okay, so you're not that far behind. It took you a week to get through night one.
It was long.
t-
It was long.
That's what she said.
sir,
But now we're just giving predictions, so we're
if the way it looks to me, sitting here right now, it looks like I think we are going to get an Okada Moxley final with Okada winning and him picking his opponent.
Probably, which is the most boring thing that they could possibly do. But
they haven't done it since 2001 or so.
Yeah, yeah, it's been 18 years since the last time the reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion has
I've got a memory like
won
an
the
elephant.
G1. So it
I don't know. To
was
me, it just feels like it makes the entire tournament pointless.
And I feel you on that. It and I get why the champion's in there, and I get the whole stipulation of like if he wins, he gets to pick his opponent. I wouldn't even have the champion in it per se. But then what are you gonna do with the champion for 2 months while you go through
a
the G
tournament.
one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's a neat way, in all honesty, the way to show that your champion is one of the best.
well, yeah, and
And
I get both sides of it. Don't get me wrong. I just
right,
um, especially this year with so many different ways you could have gone. This year, if Okada wins and gets to pick his opponent, isn't the year I would have done it. There's been previous G1s like, why didn't so and so win and get to, instead of so and so winning, that kind of stuff. This year, but I think they are headed to Okada winning and picking his opponent.
and as I've said, if Okada wins, um, he's picking one of Naito or Kenta.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But since our beloved co-host is here, I think we can move on to another piece of news and a promotion that he has made himself sort of the de facto expert on.
If he would
And
quit
that
breathing so heavy in the microphone, so we could hear
That's
what
not
he.
me.
okay, sure.
That is you, and they were just
Uh,
picking on you. That
Um,
is you. Like, did you run to the podcast? Do you need a second?
No,
did you
I'm
do it?
just finishing set my new gaming chair.
Oh no! Oh, I was wondering where the squeak was. You got a new chair.
Yep.
Oh man, there's a
No
lot
more
of
match
finales.
chair.
There's a lot of finales this week. Then, oh, and that's kind of a perfect ending to VWP being live on YouTube. No more match chair.
What do
What?
you
So sad.
mean?
Well, your squeaky chair. That was like another one of our co-hosts.
Yes.
What do you mean the last VWP on YouTube?
They're ending the Google
There's
Hangouts. You can't broadcast live to YouTube through Hangouts anymore.
starting midnight tomorrow night.
That's some BS right there. How am
Yep.
I going to do RE podcast now? Huh?
Well, How are you doing it before?
Still waiting on a certain person to show up.
So, Metal Matt, since you're here, let's tackle quickly the big news Major League Wrestling announced this past week with a certain
Yeah, they are.
partnership.
Yeah, they have partnered with Pro Wrestling Noah, which basically means that they are now going to build a giant boat, have two wrestlers each on them.
Oh
Oh
God!
God, where's that gun? Where's that gun?
I need to start drinking bleach again.
This fool said again.
I'm a Browns fan. I'm a
Oh, true.
connoisseur of bleach. Um,
And they may very well have the lowest rating in Madden 20, but that's just rumors that I've heard. I can't confirm.
they don't. You lying sack of shit. Um, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at in terms of excitement on this new partnership, Matt?
I think it'll be interesting because I don't have like the best knowledge of pro wrestling Noah, so I'm not 100% familiar with it, but it could be interesting.
Pro wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Pro wrestling Noah. It's
There was a
uh,
time it was the number 2 if not the number 1 promotion in Japan.
Yeah. And people get confused or think they or say things that they think they know more than about. Kenta never wrestled in New Japan. He came from Pro Wrestling Noah before he went to NXT and became
Correct.
Hideo Itami. But people like, oh, it's good to see. He wrestled a few matches for Noah in New Japan, but he never wrestled for New Japan. He was a Pro Wrestling Noah wrestler.
And to give a brief history on Noah, um, it was founded at the turn of the turn of the millennium at the year 2000.
In the
Um,
year 2000. In the year 2000. And both of you motherfuckers are
I
too
went,
young for that. Do
I
any
went to the year 2000.
Either
Not
one of y'all
much has
have any
changed,
idea?
but they live underwater.
We get it.
and
Either one of you
yeah,
have a clue what that's from?
I don't think anybody got that reference.
I
Anybody have a
I
clue
I
what?
know that I know what you were singing, but I don't get the reference.
Late Night with Conan O'Brien when it came
Yeah.
on after Jay Leno, or
Yeah,
with Andy Richter, the skit.
in the year 2000. Yeah,
Yes,
I
they even did
remember.
it after the year 2000. Like they
Mm.
kept doing it. But anyway,
So it was founded in the year 2000 after a split with All Japan. Um, to give it's a complicated backstory in all honesty, but the short story of it is in 1999, the legendary founder of All Japan Pro Wrestling, uh, my apologies, the legendary founder of All Japan, Giant Baba, died, and he left the company to his wife, um, Motoko Baba. I'm sorry, and Mitsuharu Misawa. And Misawa, and as you all know, Misawa, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Um, he was president of the company at the time. However, Mrs. Baba was making business decisions he did not agree with, and Misawa made the decision to leave the company and form his own company called Pro Wrestling Noah. And I know Matt made a joke there about 2x2, the wrestlers, alluding to the biblical story of Noah. However, that's actually where they got the name.
yes,
They named it after the biblical story of Noah and that kind of thing.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark. And actually, uh, Noah's Ark is in the logo of Pro Wrestling Noah,
Yes,
which I find hysterical.
It's
Um,
for all you heathens that don't
so
preach the good word, that don't
um,
and
read the good book.
settle down, Falwell. Uh, and really, it's what the creation of Pro Wrestling Noah is honestly what killed All Japan for a long time
eh, yeah.
because pretty much the entire roster followed Misawa.
I'm, I'm just waiting. Like, keep trying, keep trying.
Um,
But to get to your question of Matt, since I mean, you can look up Pro Wrestling Noah on Wikipedia, you guys.
you can. I just wanted to
Um,
give a brief little introduction into where it started, but Noah formed out of All Japan. It has been around ever since. They were actually the Observer Promotion of the Year in back-to-back years in 2004 and 2005. So, and as well as having the best weekly television show back in '03. So there was a time there in the mid 2000s where Noah was probably the premier wrestling product, not just in Japan, but in terms of everything, possibly the world. But I know some might argue that. But Mox,
yeah.
please go into your.
Um, and oddly enough, and during that time, the best two promotions in the world were Noah and TNA.
Hmm. Now, it all hasn't been great for Noah. Um,
And we all know about TNA, but
well, TNA. Here's the difference.
Someone,
Here's the difference. TNA was just.
someone signed with the wrong promotion, but that's another story.
We'll get to that news too. Um, TNA was just a horribly run company.
yeah.
Noah had ties to the Yakuza.
But okay, let's I know. let's move on. Matt, being an MLW enthusiast and watching it religiously, when you get the time, you focus on MLW, outside of WWE, and with MLW for this reason or that reason losing talent. Your thoughts on them, even without knowing much, and Jackass went into fucking Wikipedia mode.
Sorry.
Knowing much about any of the wrestlers or current wrestlers or anything from that, how do you think that? What do you think about that as far as MLW stands and the status of MLW of um, buzz and wrestlers and filling voids and stuff like that?
I think it's a good way to kind of ensure that there's always going to be some level of talent in MLW. They won't have to worry about having too little talent or anything like that. So I think it's pretty cool.
My question was longer than his answer.
Yes. Mox, let me come to you with the original question. Scale of 1 to 10, knowing all you know about Noah's history and their talent that they've had, where are you on the excitement level with this partnership between MLW and them?
Um, 8, 7, 7.5. Because Matt brought up the point of because this works both ways. We're gonna get Noah talent, on U.S. soil and starting to get noticed. We're gonna ensure MLW has talent that's if so and so signs with this or leaves for this reason. The bigger the pool, the better in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm gonna get so much at Fireman 6809, you guys. Better than partnering with AEW. Definitely better than partnering with WWE. I think it's a pretty good fit both ways, MLW and Noah. That I don't think would be that good of a fit with Impact. I'll just throw everybody else under the bus. Impact, AEW, WWE, etc. Ring of Honor, definitely Ring of Honor. Stay the fuck away from Ring of Honor. Tennille Dashwood, what are you thinking?
Yeah, well,
she signed with Impact, but so good on her.
We're gonna
But
get to that. Here's where I'm at, and
I meant to say another name, but
right,
go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We were talking about this the other day, and we heard reports coming out of, I believe, the Observer, the WWE was having conversations with Noah again about possibly partnering with them and maybe Stardom, the all-female promotion.
Yeah.
And I have always said, since the idea of this global takeover of NXT stuff, that Triple H has alluded to, that you cannot go into Japan as a new brand.
You got to
You
partner.
just you have to partner because what would be attractive to Japanese talent, potential Japanese talent that would for NXT Japan that they can't get from New Japan, All Japan, Noah, Big
Besides more,
Japan,
besides more yen.
maybe, but that's really it. It's the money and the facilities, I would imagine. But again,
You
if you
also
don't,
have to look at it at the reception. Um, Americans coming in trying to start. You're going to get a much warmer reception partnering with an existing Japan company than going over there and doing a fresh startup with you know your own shit. It'd be more beneficial to partner, right? You would think.
I would have to think because here's the thing: you're already not on British television with NXT UK. What makes you think you're going to get on Japanese television with NXT Japan?
Yeah,
You have to partner with an existing promotion to help with training, to help with introduction and all that.
right.
Because
Uh,
if you don't, you're fighting an uphill battle in a country that, quite
uh,
frankly, outside of maybe the United States, longest, has one of the longest and deeply ingrained professional wrestling traditions in the world.
I was going to bring that and just their cultural
Hmm.
views on things. And that's not a slight on them at all. Your culture, your culture. That's you. But
Yep.
that's you can't just go in there and no pun intended, think you're going to take over. I don't
Right.
care who you
If
are.
they were if they were a faction, would they be the Culture Club?
Oh, good God!
God, good
This
motherfucker. I
fucking
swear. I'm just gonna walk away now. I don't think I can do it.
okay.
So
Now I need the gun to be taken away from me because some bad things are going to happen.
it might be happening. Um, I'm
But
excited.
okay, what's your scale? Knowing what you know about Noah and MLW, and what's your excitement level 1 to 10?
I have to be at. I think I'm at a 7. I want to see what their plan is
Yeah,
because they have a. Noah currently has a young champion, a kid by the name of Kaito Kiyomiya. Kid is young. He is 22 years old, and he's already GHC heavyweight champion.
yes,
And for those who
but
don't know what GHE is, GHC, that's the governing body, quote unquote, of professional wrestling Noah, similar to New
yes,
Japan
uh,
and the
I do.
IWGP.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's their. That's another thing when you bring up NXT Japan. Um, Japan, and you brought this up vaguely with their tradition and their history. Japan takes their fucking wrestling seriously.
Super seriously. The only
Yeah,
company,
you have your TGPWs out there
right,
that they have fun with, and
or your
but when it gets serious, they get serious, and but damn, they take their wrestling serious.
I mean, it's and then you have, and what we mean by that is Noah and um New Japan both have established the way they've established things. They don't want to put their name on everything. Like WWE champion, WWE Intercontinental champion,
Right.
WWE Cruiserweight champion. It's the IWGP. It's the GHC. All Japan does the traditional way we're used to, but even then, it's the All Japan Triple Crown champion. In All
Yes.
Japan, they have several tag belts and that kind of thing.
It's
Um,
more along the lines if you think of boxing
yes,
and how the different governing bodies of boxing have their championships, regardless if you're wrestling on PBC, professional boxing championship. You could be carrying this governing body's title or this governing body's title. That's how serious they take it. You
it
can say all day that boxing's just as rigged as wrestling, whatever, but they
it
take it
is.
that serious. Yeah, but they take it that serious over there that they have quote unquote governing bodies. Mexico does kind of the same thing. They have governing bodies of their promotion that are literally just in name alone.
Yeah, they wanted to make it look like a.
Down goes Fatu. Down goes
Are
Oh,
you
Fatu.
good
watching
grief.
MLW right now? Okay.
No,
Yeah, he said last night he was caught up
Fox
on.
was talking about boxing.
Oh, oh, what
But
the what the hell?
but the idea we could see a couple young guys like potentially doing a title versus title match between Noah and MLW with two young cats like this and
Yeah,
Fatu and Kiyomiya and Kiyomiya. It'll take me a second to get that right. Um,
I'll just
that
keep waiting.
that's interesting. That gets me excited because
And Kato is, um, do I dare say, not just based on age, because Tyler Bate was and Pete Dunne both young as hell. Um, Dude's good. Dude's really good. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I've seen a few matches. There's a reason he's 22 and champion. Dude's fucking lights out.
absolutely. Um, so I'm
What do we
excited.
want to talk to now?
Well, we did kind of bring up the other big news that we kind of forgot to talk about, but since Matt's here, um,
Since
the
Matt's here,
the
everybody shut up so we don't hear puns or lyrics or everybody stay
um,
quiet for the next little bit.
the
If you really, really want me to, I'll be more than happy to.
no, please
Give me what I
God,
want, what I really, really want.
not you too. Um, it
Oh,
broke.
it's a beautiful day.
Well, I mean, well, I mean, well, I mean, I, well, I mean, for lunch tomorrow, I have been thinking about Mexican food. I mean, come on, Mox, let's talk about it.
Oh God,
Dear God.
motherfucker! I swear to God. So it broke.
See what you did,
I
Matt? You
apologize,
see,
everyone. I don't know why I'm coughing, but it could be because Matt's puns are infecting me. Um,
and he's not a smoker.
no,
Like Rice isn't a smoker.
but
I'm
I
the
cough
smoker.
like one.
Yes, but I just wanted to clarify. Like you cough like you're taking big hits off of cigarettes or a blunt, or you're not a smoker. But when Matt shows up, for our friends that are listening, he didn't do this. We talked
Right,
for an hour and a half. He didn't do this. Matt
Matt's
shows
here.
up.
I'm dying. That's how it works. But it broke during last night's Monday Night Raw while the broadcast was going on that Impact announced that they have signed Tennille Dashwood, formerly known as Emma, to a contract, making TNA's knockout division probably one of the most stacked
Did
women's
you just
division in all
segue?
of
Did you just
wrestling.
segue from Spice Girls references to Emma?
I did. Because when does Matt, I know you're upset. I don't think there was a chance she would come back to WWE.
There
Um,
should have been.
I'm not sure she wanted to come back to WWE.
that's what I was going to say.
I wanted to come back to WWE. Is that not enough?
Apparently not. But yeah, so Tenille Dashwood, Emma signed with Impact yesterday. Her Ring of Honor contract ran out March 31st of this year. And she's done little work in here and there, but hasn't signed
She's
with
also had,
anybody.
and she's also been dealing with some health stuff.
Yeah, but
Um,
she's been taking a break, free agenting here and there. But
well, actually, she just worked her first match in a while. What was it? A couple weeks, just within the last 2 weeks against Scarlett Boudreaux somewhere.
yeah, I was also bringing up like not just wrestling, but like signings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like she didn't just drop off the face of the earth. But now she's has a contract and it's with Impact Wrestling that you can
Shitty
find
time to
on
be
your
signing with
local.
Impact.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Their women's division. It's a shitty time because I was in the middle of saying that you can find on your local outdoor channel somewhere.
Yeah. Um,
That's what I don't want to say confuses me. That's what took me aback. But the Impact women's wrestlers, man, that women's
they
division.
if the other rumors or speculation is true that Eva Lise might be heading to Impact, they that women's division I would put on par with anybody's. And it's
You're almost if Evilise, however you want to pronounce it, also signs. Shit, I'd be tempted to make Impact an all women's promotion.
I would too. Because really outside of Brian Cage, who I like, he's not my cup of tea, but I like him. Um, Killer Cross
And I love Killer Cross. I like
and
Brian Cage.
I won't bring up that other fucker.
Sammy
Human
Callahan.
piece of well, Sammy Callahan. I'll talk about him, but he's not my cup of tea either. I was actually referring to human piece of shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
We don't call him by name.
um, but outside of those three
Seth
guys, and I
Rollins?
did
Who?
no human piece of shit, not him.
Who do you say? I didn't. I
He said
missed it.
Seth Rollins.
Oh God,
He
you're an
compared
ass.
Seth. He compared Seth Rollins to Michael freaking Elgin. My God, Matt.
You
I
said his
know he.
name.
Well, I have to say it for emphasis because Matthew. I know you're jealous and he has your girl and everything, but that is no reason to compare Seth Rollins to Michael Elgin.
Maybe Becky has my girl.
Oh, that's funny because it's partially true. Um, but outside of them, I who else on Impact or you from on the male roster would you say you're excited about?
Outside of them, I'm not even excited about them. Brian
Right,
Cage and Killer Cross. Um, but fuck, are they gonna wrestle every week?
but look, I'm sorry. I know they're ingrained into the promotion at this point, but I could give fuck all about LAX.
Yeah,
Sir, just because you take laxatives, that's no reason to
God damn.
shout out.
That's not you son of a bitch.
And the
Oh,
LA airport joke was right there.
there was an LA airport joke there, Matt, and you just. But look,
It was either
what?
that or that.
Okay, because I've seen this from a few different.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next flight. There's, I've seen this with a few people. What are your guys' thoughts on Tannehill signing? And are you gonna start watching Impact if you haven't been watching?
Look, I love I I love Tessa. I love Tennille. I think Rosemary is fantastic. They use Sue Young sometimes. She's great. Kiara Hogan is a future star wherever she is. Uh,
Here we go, fucking Wikipedia. I just asked if you'd start watching.
but that was good. I was getting to my point.
Is she related to Paul Hogan
No,
from
and
Crocodile Dundee?
if you've ever seen her, you would know why that's a no.
That's
Um,
why Hulk Hogan would have been a worse joke.
yes. Um, for as much as I
See,
liked
Matt.
all those women's work, I still won't watch Impact even with Tennille signing
Okay.
because to me,
Same here.
Impact's a lost cause to me, even though they're still alive.
They are.
I I don't have any hope of them being competently run. Um,
Okay. I'm going to stick to watching the highlights I can find on Daily Motion or YouTube. Um, I'm not going to, you guys know how I have to watch my cable. Like,
mhm.
it's not like piracy or illegal or anything. It's just, and I know Dish has that channel.
Our
God,
matey.
God damn it. But I'm not going to
Had
go
to stay
through the
pirating.
hassle and or using the data of watching a whole show. I'll just catch the highlights. I've been catching them.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Okay, so
It's
that's
down to that. Um, Matt, did you want? Have they aired? Never say never on TV yet. Major League Wrestling. Matthew. Matt. Mox, are you still there?
I'm here.
Why is Matthew ignoring me?
I, I don't know.
Okay, fine, whatever. Um, we
Did he
will
pull an A?
move.
Did we put him to sleep? Did we? Did he pull an AA on us?
No, that's impossible because whenever Matt's on, we think he's on drugs, and that's just impossible.
Matthew,
Did he get up and leave without telling us?
could mute his mic before he did so, but
Um,
how late can you stay? Because it's almost usually you're out by
yeah.
midnight your time. How
If
late
there's
can you go?
anything, if there's anything you absolutely want to cover tonight, I could stay up for a little bit longer. But we're gonna with I don't know. Do you want to cover all WWE Wednesday?
I guess we could. Matthew,
But Elizabeth
What?
Mox right now.
he's back.
There he is. There he is. Did you walk away?
No. I'm ready. I'm here right now. Let's go, Ed. What?
You don't even know what
No,
you've
you guys cut
agreed
out for a
to.
bit.
Right? Like, okay, well, it's not first degree murder, it's assisted suicide. It's so it's
Don't
not
even
the
know.
death penalty.
Well, I'm ready to talk WWE because I'm ready to rant, baby.
Oh god.
And with that, we have to go. Um, if there's a, I really can't.
or
I really
or
can't give
rise.
you guys. Yeah. I really can't give you guys too much time left. So, if is there anything else you guys want to cover outside of the world of WWE?
Yes.
I guess we can lump
Where
WWE and AEW on TNT tomorrow
we can
and
talk about
MLW.
we can talk about AEW real quick because there's really not a lot to cover.
Okay.
Um, the AEW recently announced that their first show was going to be in Washington D.C. At the Capital One Arena,
Yeah, October 2nd.
October 2nd, Capital One Arena. And today they announced what would be the main event of that show. And to no one's surprise, Cody Rhodes is involved. And
Shocker.
right, and he will be wrestling Sammy Guevara.
I thought they were supposed to announce because they did a thing yesterday that noon Eastern today they would announce the first match.
They, let me see.
I think they did, but yesterday they didn't say anything about main event. They said they would announce the first match on AEW on TNT, the first match to ever take place.
Um, it's either the first. I've heard you're right. I've heard some say main event, and I've heard some say the first. This is our first match. I don't know if this is what they're saying is the first match they're announcing. If this is the first match on the card, or if this is the main event. But in any case, um, Cody versus Sammy Guevara is the first match announced for the televised debut of All Elite Wrestling. Um, and they've also announced that John Moxley will be there appearing live. So who knows what that could possibly mean? Um,
I know what it
Stay in
means.
Japan, Moxley.
It means that Seth and Roman are coming with them. That's what it means.
right? God, could you imagine?
No.
Where is billionaire Tony?
If it, Tony, stay away, Tony. Just stay away. Stay away from this mess because it's going to be a mess. Um, so they're going to start announcing their card, but for the little bit we can analyze box, Cody versus Sammy Guevara, any excitement into that for you?
It's got Cody Rhodes in the match, so not really. Just to be,
Um,
I'm sorry. I just, yeah,
just a meh.
yeah, just meh. Okay,
meh.
that's. You would think like their first big announced match would be. Well, actually, you would know better, but you would think in the back of your head somewhere, in a drunken stupor, like they would have announced a bigger match.
You
But I
mean
think
something
that
with
they're convinced, and rightfully so. They're going to sell out regardless. Tickets go until Friday, um, so they don't have to announce that much. My question, we'll talk about this on future episodes. Can they sell out every week? Can they get bigger venues and still sell out? Um, but this show is going to sell out. I mean, this is they have All Out coming before this show, but this people are going to be there just to say they saw the first. They're going to sell out like instantaneously, and it's a big to do is going to be made about it on Twitter and whatever. Of WWE can't sell out, but AEW selling out their first show. And what's the size of the arena? 2,500 people.
no, it's actually a 20,000 seat arena.
Oh, uh, but it's their first
Well,
show.
I know one way W would be able to sell out.
Oh god. Oh god.
Don't.
Picture this. Picture this. Becky Lynch, the
No, we're
man,
not doing
the
it.
Raw
We're
Women's
not doing
Champion,
it. We
and
are
the
not
best baby
doing the
face
rant.
of all time,
We are not
teaming
doing
up
the
with
rant.
the
Stop
teaming
it.
up with the
Stop
greatest
it.
women's. I'm not doing the rant.
Sir,
I'm not doing the rant.
bullshit, you're not. Bullshit. I can see
I'm
it coming from here.
not teaming up with
Bullshit.
the greatest tag team champions of all time, the Iconics. What a main event that would be.
Please pass me the eye bleach. Um,
And I mean, it's just a shame that Billy has been stricken down with puppy fever. I mean, it's a real bad
Poppy
fever. I
fever.
mean,
Oh god.
prayers have to
Yeah.
go out to Billy Kay.
She caught it from Lawler. Uh,
Oh damn. Mm.
yeah, I said it. Um,
Has since they're going to be weekly, has AEW announced where their second show is going to be?
I have not heard.
I
Um,
don't think they've announced.
but they have said they're going to do arenas. So good luck with that. Everyone's going to go to the first or second shows because they're going to be big events. But
Yeah,
a show,
it's going to be like they're all in, all out, double or nothing. It's going to that first show is going to be that kind of excitement level that the tickets are going to sell fast, like very fast, very quick.
right? People are going to travel to it if they
I was
really
going to
want
say
to.
it's going. I already have people on Twitter like that live in Arizona and California and Washington State that are waiting for them to go on sale to buy and are traveling to the show. That's not
But
going to
one,
happen every week.
right? What happens on show 10 and show 20? Are
Exactly.
people still going to want to flock to this thing? They
It's
have to prove that they can make an entertaining show, a pay per view, a consistently entertaining televised product. One off pay per views are fine. What happens when you need to build stories? Because here's the thing, just because your last name is Rhodes doesn't mean you know how to book. And Cody damn sure isn't his father.
oh, nobody's Dusty. Nobody
Oh no.
does.
And I'm
That's one of a kind treasure, and for the wrestling world, um, just a person in general, that's a one of a kind treasure.
But Dusty was an amazing booker.
Yes, that's what I'm
Just
saying.
because, just because your last name is Rhodes, just because you got to learn some things from him, doesn't mean you know what it
And
means to take a money-making product.
Talent
technically, his
isn't
last name
sexual.
is Reynolds, but
I
who's to
was,
say?
Oh
um,
God, don't.
talent isn't sexually transmitted.
Well, sir,
Blame Matthew. Blame Matt.
God bless, man. All right, but look, I'll give it. I'll give show one a chance, maybe. Um, you're gonna have to figure out if you can hold them, and I'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the rating is. Because if that show doesn't do greater than a 3.5 in the ratings, we're going to have a lot of answers about where professional wrestling in America stands.
Yeah, I think it will. I we're probably for that first show looking at closer to a 4.
And that's what I think. That's what they have to be hoping for, right?
But then the question, like we've been bringing up, What about that second show? What about that 10th show? That first, and this is going to irk me for all the way from now till ratings come out October 3rd. Once the tickets go on sale, they're going to sell out fast. And that's all you're going to hear about is how fast they sold out and WWE can and blah, blah, blah. And then their ratings are going to be bigger than Monday nights when they air October 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you're going to hear about.
Yep.
And,
like I said,
and I'm not shitting on AEW. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm not a WWE fanboy. I'm just the people that jump on this stuff relentlessly. Like, I'm just a realist. I'm not shitting on AEW. I'm not defending WWE. I'm just a realist of, okay, what's going to happen? Like you brought up week 10. What's the crowd going to be like? What's the viewership going to be like? What about week
Right.
20? What about your, first year, week 52? Then we can talk.
But this will be an interesting litmus test of where professional wrestling in America stands.
Absolutely.
With AEW coming around and WWE going to Fox.
Yeah.
Where is pro wrestling? And that's a conversation I think we're all going to need to have at some point down the line. And I'm talking as a fan base, because we may be in a situation we have never been in the modern wrestling era, where it's no longer a. There was always a time when, on some level, professional wrestling was mainstream because of the televised nature. And we have ratings from back in the day in certain markets that showed that those cities and those areas were tuned into their wrestling and
Yeah.
tuned in a big way. Since the national expansion, and now in this new era where we have billionaires starting wrestling companies and buying wrestling companies, where with this is going to be a big temperature check. And I know I'm basically saying the same thing over and over, but it's for emphasis. We're going to learn what professional wrestling is going into the 2020s and for in the foreseeable future looks like.
Yeah. And I'm steadfast on we're not going to learn that the first week.
Nope. But we will get a snapshot.
Yeah. It'll be a quick snapshot. It will be if they do 4 we're like, okay, so there's some American interest in wrestling, or some old people just fell asleep watching We Know Drama TNT.
Yep.
Wrestling just came on.
Right. People tuned in expecting Charles Barkley and didn't get it. But
Terrible. Terrible.
thank you, Matt. I was hoping that would happen. But with all that said, I think that's a good place to leave off. I have to go to bed.
I don't.
That's a you problem. Tomorrow we will do all WWE.
And
Unless something
MLW.
major happens. And MLW.
And Rocky Mountain Pro.
And Rocky Mountain Pro.
AA works, so I don't know about the Rocky Mountain
So do
Pro.
I.
Again,
Nobody cares about
drama.
you. You're griping like it's 120 degrees out here. It couldn't be any more than 114.
Right. So, with all that said, this time around, Mox, please take us home.
Where can they find you?
You guys can find me at FPWFan01 on Twitter and at Cage Side Seats in the daily and in the nightly. And this Thursday, I will be making another guest appearance on the Los Ingobernables, the podcast network on Twitch. Our mutual friends, Crazy Chris Colgan and George Chavez, we used to know him as a curtain jerker, um, are having what I am calling a futures draft, but they're calling a Trailblazers draft, in which we have to draft anywhere between 15 to 25 wrestlers who have debuted since the year 2007 and have meet a certain set of requirements that we consider the future of the business. We will be drafting our own rosters and kind of putting them head to head. I'm putting in a lot of work into this. I have a big board, and I'm taking this
Yeah.
very seriously. Why are you laughing at my big board?
I didn't do any. Who
Bullshit.
is using an old ass fucking line printer all of a sudden?
It's Matt. So, for those of you who are interested, um, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. I will be on Twitch over at the Los Ingobernables the podcast channel, so please give it a listen and tune in.
Matt, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at MLW15 or on KJC on the daily and the nightly. And hopefully soon we'll be able to do Ruthless Aggression Era podcast, hopefully still on Google Hangouts, but I'm guess that's not going
Oh,
to happen.
and
Thank you,
AA is
Google.
here. AA.
Hey guys.
Hey,
You got in just as we're leaving.
We were just going out.
Well, at least
can
I
you
Um,
believe?
bye and
Can,
bye.
can you believe that Adam doesn't want to talk about WWE? I had a rant to do.
You can do your rant tomorrow.
It's too long to wait.
Oh
Is it?
God.
But Allie, since you are here, please tell us where the people can find you.
Seriously?
You can find me at Lady Roshana on the Twitter thing. Or you can find me on Twitch at Violent Wrestling Podcast, no G.
That's callous, dude. That's
Well,
fucking.
she's here, and she should just let people know where they can find her. What's so wrong with that? I was being polite. So, Mox, since you are in control this evening, send us home.
Yeah, man.
I'm-
What kind of shorts do clouds wear? Thunderwear.
Oh, Mox, please, I beg you, send us home.
we won't discuss anything, but you can go ahead and head out. Well, we won't discuss. I won't let Matt rant until you can hear it tomorrow. I promise.
Okay, I will. I will sign off now. So you guys have a good night.
Night, Adam.
Screw you,
Night.
buddy.
Fuck you too.
Sir. Hey.
Yeah,
How was work?
it was work. My feet hurt.
Oh man.
My shoulder hurts. It's a very physical job.
Well, guess who friended me on Facebook?
Oh, who?
The one, the only, Curtis Cole.
Hey, about time.
And I go by my shoot name without parentheses. I'm surprised that he friended me, but But yeah, sent him a little request and woke up the next morning and he accepted my request. And man, he posts some of the best pictures and
That,
stuff. So anywho, um, I just didn't want to, like, as soon as you show up, duck out. Anything in general you want to talk about, wrestling or outside of wrestling?
no, just that it's the pits that I have to work Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And it's the pits that I have to work 6 straight days at a time.
That you have to do what at a time?
6 days straight.
Oh yeah. You get one day off a week.
That's Mondays.
Mm.
Lucky.
Yeah, you guys need to switch places. Matt gets off like 2 days a week. He's like, that's 2 days too many.
Yeah, exactly.
AA's like, I need more days off.
I'll switch with Matt.
He's weird. Like, generally he's weird. But with the
What's that supposed to mean?
you know what that's supposed to mean. But even
No, I don't.
like he just gets weirder with like I have too many days off. Like who says that? That's our Matt. That's our Matthew.
Yeah, we love our Matthew.
We do. You get off at 10 your time tomorrow, AA?
Yep.
Tomorrow's the last night before they take hangouts off of YouTube.
Boo.
So that sucks.
My job sucks.
Well, I don't want to tell you what to do or anything, but I'm just joking. I saw. I'm not going to bring up names or anything, but I think it was yesterday or Sunday or something. Your post,
Oh, yeah.
and people were like, "Girl, at least you got your priorities straight." You know what post I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The one that said that RMP comes first.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. Nobody was like, hey, what are you thinking? Like, they were all like, at least you have your priorities straight.
Yes.
Even that one person, she flat out said, I quit my job so I can see RMP on Thursdays. I got me a day job. Or however she worded it. I think it was a she.
It's a she. It was she.
Oh, this is going to be a weird transition next week to Twitch. Screw you, Google. Why do they have to make it complicated on us?
I know.
Matt, you're gonna have to get a Twitch channel for Ruthless Aggression.
I don't know if I can have like 2 accounts because I already technically have one. Just don't use it.
You can have 2. Technically, I have 2. I have my Mox_VWP and Violent Wrestling No G podcast. It's AA created it, but I can get into it.
Yeah,
You can have more than one Twitch account.
it's the one I use all the time.
Yeah. Just if you have a personal one, I think it would be personal, and then make the other one. What do they call it? AA? I can't think all of a sudden. Kind of like Facebook, where you have your personal account, but you can also make a page. Just make a Ruthless Aggression podcast account.
It's the one RMP knows me as.
They do.
I'll think about it.
I mean, you can, as far as I know, you can still go live on YouTube, but only as an individual. You can't do hangouts like we're doing now. You can't invite people to a hangouts and go live.
Wow.
So either you do a RE on your own, and there's other platforms out there on Twitch. It's just with AA and Rocky Mountain Pro and stuff, and me not being lazy, just I don't really care that much for social media, that I just know of YouTube and Twitch. But there's all kinds of other avenues for you to take where you can have guests on.
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.
Oh my God.
We're gonna rock on down to Electric Avenue.
Hey, don't encourage him.
We have to, for the people.
We, the people. Well, what else?
Cassie's chasing the cat.
Oh, that was gonna be the crudest thing I've ever said live on a broadcast. Oh, thank God I stopped myself. What about the other fur babies?
The other fur babies are doing well.
Chew.
Odd chew. It happened Sunday. They get their odd chew every
No,
Sunday.
No, Apu. I have problems with both.
Oh, AA, I know you didn't watch Raw last night. You missed a.
Nobody got that reference.
No, I got it. I'm trying to ignore it.
I didn't get it.
Aladdin
Simpsons. No Simpsons.
or The Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Apu, the store clerk.
Well, I don't watch Simpsons, so yeah, that's why I didn't get it.
I was in the middle of saying something. Now I forget.
If Billy Kay
Oh,
was a comedian, would she be
Stop
a
it!
silly
Stop it!
Billy?
Stop it! Stop it! You've done that joke 5 times. But Raw was
Not
actually
prime time.
pretty. It's not prime time unless you're like in Australia or something. It's not prime time. Oh, Peyton Royce might be listening. No, bad joke, bad joke. But Raw was pretty good last night, eh?
It was, huh?
Guys, don't start.
Not really.
Matt, don't let one segment.
It wasn't even that segment. It was just everything about it. Just like, especially near the end, it just felt so unorganized. It just kind of felt like a mess. I hate the Maria and Mike Kanellis storyline. I think it's so stupid. The
Don't
Gargano match was
go into
cool, I guess, but the
don't
way it
go
was
into
kind of
detail. That's
booked,
for tomorrow.
I don't want to wait until tomorrow.
You gotta wait. Wait for tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Wait,
I love you
wait.
tomorrow.
Oh God, we all just just broke out in song. all three different songs. But nobody's saying, I don't want to wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. And AA, you said we got the new key and stuff.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Cool.
I just got to get it to you.
Okay. Well, if I log in, if I can ever, I'm gonna have to break down and buy a new. We're live. Who gives a shit? We're just gonna talk like we're not live. Um, break down, buy a new laptop or something. If I log in, it should come up for me. But yeah, just in case it doesn't, you can send it to me. Oh, Cassie.
She's barking at me.
Matt, what'd you have for dinner after work?
Haven't had anything yet. Probably just gonna have some leftover DiGiorno pizza from today.
It's not delivery.
It's DiGiorno.
DiGiorno.
Hey, what'd you have?
I'm fixing me a flat iron steak.
Nice. She's fancy.
No, I'm not. It was just the cheapest cut of meat I could find.
Surely you're making something with it, right?
Nope.
The opposite of a vegetarian. I don't need fucking potatoes. I don't need carrots. I don't need shit. Just give me my meat.
Cassie, the Wonder Dog is here.
Cassie.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that AA. It's a good thing that AA isn't a vegetarian, because becoming a vegetarian is a big mistake.
Oh God. You know, one of these days I'm going to leave headquarters and not come back. Oh, good grief. You guys. Oh, man.
What did the buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bison.
Oh, sweet Lord. Sweet Lord. Make it stop. Make it stop.
Don't make it stop.
Oh, I can't even. I can't with you guys. I just can't. I don't know what's worse, Matt's puns or A laughing so hard at him.
Gotta love us.
Yeah, I love you guys. You know that. I'm stuck with you. We're lifers. And among you and Adam, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Unless it was Burger King, then you'd be able to have it your way.
Son of a... That was a twofer. Have you tried their tacos?
Not yet.
I'm not sure about those.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leery about them.
Yeah, same here.
It's burgers.
Who do they think they are? IHOP changing pancakes to burgers, but this changing burgers like Jack in the Box. I love Jack in the Box tacos. Oh, for one you get 2 for 99
Sir.
cents. Shit, give me that all
Sir,
day.
that's a bit. That's a bit too adult for us.
God dang it! Keep on. I'll have more sign into the Switch and kick your ass and smash. Oh, he finally he beat Dracula 2 days ago, which he thought was the final boss in adventure mode. But then you have to face, I think it's Darkin, who's the final boss for that level. Finally beat him, so he moved on to the Cloud. He calls it the Cloud World, whatever that is. Have you not played adventure mode?
I have. I haven't gotten too far into it.
Is my 10-year-old further along in the game than you are?
Probably, but I also have a job, so.
Hey, so does he. It's called. His job is aggravating the shit out of his dad all day. Speaking of him and jobs, I can't believe he goes back to school in a week.
He does?
Yeah. What happened to like the full summers off? Yeah. Another summer's flown by and haven't done much of anything. But he goes back August. They're doing this again this year, where he goes back like on a Thursday or something. So summer long vacation, go back to school on like a Thursday and a Friday weekend. Like, that's so messed up. Just start school on a Monday. Get it over with. Anywho, nobody else is talking, so
We're talking. We're talking.
you're cooking your flat iron steak, and Matt's eyeballing some pizza. I have no idea what I'm gonna eat. I made 14 Salisbury steaks with mashed potatoes, the carrots, green beans, the works.
And there's none left?
Nope. I'm taking care, obviously, of my wife and son, and also her grandparents, and they eat early, and I don't eat early, and so everybody ate. Morris had 3 Salisbury steaks, which I was impressed by. Like, he cleaned off all his plates, so I'm good with that. But, like, damn. Then I found out Candace was like, or my wife, oops, used their shoe name. Screw it, I've used their shoe name on here before. Candace was like, and I only had 1. Her grandma and grandpa tore into the steaks. I'm cool.
Well, I just hope, Mox, for your sake, that you didn't make a mistake.
I obviously did not, or there would be some left. But apparently I knew they like my cooking, but damn. Like, and I don't mind like me being left out because I usually portion it to cook for the four of them. And if there's something left over, okay, I'll have whatever's left over. But 14 among four people, and Candace only got one, so that's 13 among three people. And then you take Morris's three. Between Grandma and Grandpa, they had five each. And yeah, they weren't that big, but still, like, damn. I thought I'd have a steak left. I didn't expect Morris to eat three. He might have had four, actually. They're little bitty steaks that I just throw in the oven while I'm making my gravy and stuff. But at least everybody's home and everybody's fed, except for me, which who gives a shit about me? So no biggie.
So what are you going to have?
It almost
I
it
don't know
almost sounds like you're it almost sounds like you're fed up.
that I'm what? You broke up for a second. Do I want to know what he said, AA?
Yes.
What'd you say, Matt?
It almost sounds like you're fed up.
I will end you. I will end you. I don't know what I'm gonna have. Something. Gotta eat something. I mean, I don't have to.
Yep.
That's neither here nor there. But anywho, once again, it's just me talking and a lot of dead air, and it's getting late. You were Matt.
I mean, I can always rant while we're still alive.
No. I can't take that right now. Plus, I promised Rice. You get off at 9 tomorrow, right? Or Matt?
Yes. Yes.
And AA, you get off at 10 your time?
Yep.
Oh, if it was only on a Thursday, because Rice, I think, is taking off Friday to go see the Browns scrimmage, so he could stay up late Thursday with us. Oh, yeah, AA, breaking news. Matt got a new desk chair, so that's why you don't hear the squeaking. He sold out. Or bought in, or however you want to look at it. That's why you don't hear squeaking. It's an end of an era, really.
It is.
In more than one way. Us being live on YouTube and Matt's squeaky chair. Any final thoughts? Anybody?
RMP is the greatest.
Well, of course. And tomorrow I'll stay late and wait for you, since tomorrow will be. I don't know if they'll cut us off right at midnight Eastern, or if we're already doing a live hangouts. But the cutoff is tomorrow at midnight. Excuse me. So I don't know. But yeah, with that note, if you don't hear from us tomorrow on YouTube, we'll be on Violent Wrestling No G podcast on Twitch starting next week. You can find me at, I'm kind of getting sentimental and I don't want to. You can find me at Fireman6809 on Twitter. You can find us at Violent Wrestling No G on Twitter. And you can find me at Mox_VWP on Twitch. And I think steak should be done by now, and Matt is probably eyeballing the hell out of some pizza. So on that note, I'm gonna mute my microphone and go inside and end the live broadcast. Love you, everyone. Thank you guys for listening. It's been year and 7 months, or year and 8 months actually, since we started. So if we don't podcast tomorrow, thank you all for those that have tuned in and listened, and we love you, we appreciate you, and we'll keep you updated on where you can find us. Anything else?
Well, where can they find Matt?
Give your outro one more time, Matt. I think he went off to pizza.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at MLW. Hang on, KSC in the daily and the nightly. Well, you can find me on Twitter at MelMap15 here on Kids on Seats in the daily and the nightly, and hopefully I will be able to do Ruthless Aggression Era podcast sooner rather than later.
And with that, VWP signing out. We love you. We'll talk to you soon. And I'm locked out of the house. Turn the podcast off.
You're locked out of the house?
Yes. Fun stuff. Okay. Fun stuff. So, starting tomorrow, I'll have my own little rant. This is awkward. We all know Candace is coming, but we all know with her health issues, she can't move that fast, so I'm just standing at the door, just waiting. So, how you been? How's everything going? We could have done a WWE recap by now.